top coat application, there are a fairly wide variety of guns that you can use, and I'm going to explain a little bit why you choose certain guns when you do. If you're in a spray booth situation where you're doing something like a car where all of the areas are either horizontal and you can get above, or vertical and you can get beside them, with the viscosity of the top coat materials that we use, you can even go to a normal pot gun, suction feed gun, siphon feed gun, Venturi gun. That has a lot of names, but basically the standard suction fed spray gun will suffice. You get enough pressure through the Venturi action to atomise the paint properly, and you get quite a good finish with a standard suction fed gun. Having said that, we don't use them very often at all, because in boats, of course, there's unusual shapes, and we're almost always in a position where we have to tilt the gun on an awkward angle that the suction can't work at. We're almost always upside down at some point, or twisting the gun side to side. So the suction fed gun doesn't get much of a run with us. You can use a pressure pot, no problem at all, with a suitable handpiece with a very small orifice to suit maximum atomisation of the product, which is what we're looking to achieve. When you set up your pressure pot for top coat application, as I said, maximum atomisation is what you're after. How you achieve that is to have lots of air, very little pressure, so that you're not pushing the paint forward too quick, and lots of fan and a little bit of material. So you've got a little bit of material getting split right open with lots of air, lots of wide fan. That's how you achieve maximum atomisation. The smaller the finer that it's atomised, of course, the flatter it will lay on the surface. If you've got nice prep, of course, you'll minimise your peel, and you can apply coats safely. If you keep your gun angles right, you won't have any problem with runs either. So all of those things can be set up on a pressure pot very well, and with the right handpiece and your equipment in good condition, you can achieve premium results with a pressure pot. And for boats, it's the most commonly used, widely used, and the most applicable way of applying top coat. There are times, and pretty significant times, where a gravity-fed unit will work very, very well as well. The benefits of a gravity-fed gun over even a pressure pot are that there is a smaller material transfer, you get less waste, less overspray. Pressure stays low, but you can set your pressure pot up at low pressure too, but you have just a general consistent low pressure in a gravity-fed gun. Gives you a very consistent finish. You haven't got extra lines hanging off, you haven't got to carry a pot. Just simple, good, standard way of applying paint. Only real downfall is to going upside down. You can even make it go upside down a little bit if you've got plenty of paint in your pot. The throat will have enough paint in it to do small areas upside down. If you're doing large areas upside down, you really have to go to the pressure pot. It's still very good, consistent. You get lots of that fine atomisation. A good quality gravity-fed gun will do a beautiful job. Very suitable for parts, because you can go in and out of your booth quite quickly and don't have to drag lines around with you. And they're much, much quicker to clean. So you can clean probably 3 gravity-fed guns in the same time as you'll clean all the paint out of your lines and your pot and your gun in a pressure pot setup. So very suitable for smaller jobs, booth work, and occasionally bigger jobs on boats where you haven't got to be upside down too often. Also very good for blow-ins and repairs. You've got very good control. Bring it down to a very fine tip. You've got very little air, lower atomisation, less overspray issue. Very suitable for blow-ins. Comes in various sizes as well. If you've got very small jobs, you can go right down to tiny wee little orifices in tiny little mill feeder guns like this one, which have very little overspray at all. You can do blow-ins as big as a match head with them, and you have the added advantage of less weight on your hand, very little amount of material, very good transfer, no waste. So it's good for that sort of application, but of course very, very slow for bigger jobs. You'll never use it on bigger jobs. So there's the benefits of those two particular guns. The vast majority of the work we do, you'll use either a well set up pressure pot or a gravity-fed gun. The old airless works with some top coats, but of course with an airless you've got no control over the tip whatsoever. You've got just a standard fan that does not change. You've got some control over your pressure, but there's always going to be very high pressure. So the finish you're going to get on your top coat is always going to be peely. It's going to hit the job hard and peel up. Very easy to get runs with an airless. You can't fan your trigger. Very difficult to spray top coat with an airless. But if you've got really huge areas, if you're doing something like a wheat silo or something like that, then you would get your airless out. You're not worried about peeling. All you want is a decent amount of top coat on. You mix your top coat up nice and thick, and then you can use your airless for applying top coat. But very, very rare that opportunity comes about. There are some other variations to these guns that can be used for top coating, especially in a spray booth operation. You can set up a diaphragm pump or air-assisted airless, various different combinations of all of these machines. They all use the same technology as the guns I've just shown you now, but there are basically an endless range of different combinations of this gear. For what we do, this is predominantly the gear that you'll use.